So many are dead. Infected and non-infected alike.
There's no discharge in the war.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Critics Collective. And today, it's your boy Manny, and you, of course, have Mayte with us today. And we're going to be talking about one of the most, I would say, anticipated zombie-ish film of the year, 28 years later. I don't know why they skipped 28 months, because we had 28 days, 28 weeks, but they skipped months and with 28 years. But before we start, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think, and help us reach greater heights. So 28 years later, let's go ahead and read the synopsis. A group of survivors of the rage virus live in a small island. When one of the group leaves the island on a mission into the mainland, he discovers secrets, wonders, and horrors that have mutated not only the infected but other survivors. This movie is directed by Boyle and Alex Garland. And before I start, because I got to talk about it. The last time Alex Garland and Danny Boyle worked together was in 2007 in a small movie called Sunshine, right? Sunshine. And this movie was so indecisive with the audience that these two had a fallout. And they came back years later to make this film. That's all I'm going to put out there. Sunshine was so indecisive. It came years later to come back together and do this film. So let's go ahead, Panther. What are your highs and lows for this film?
Starting off with that maybe kind of makes a lot of sense. But starting off with my highs and lows, I'll start off with my highs because I feel like there's less highs than there are lows, unfortunately. So my highs, I feel like people might not like how it was filmed. I think it was different. I liked how it was filmed. Like the way they showed the bodies and even like the movement, it gave a little bit of chaos. I really liked that. And then even the music, kind of the way it went into the film, it was very little eerie. So I liked the first half of the film. Let's start with that. I liked the first half. And then there was a moment in the movie that I feel like was the start of it just going downhill. And then I feel like there was a moment where it could have been brought back and then it would have had that redeeming moment. But it just continued to go downhill from there, in my opinion. And I was just like, what the hell? And then even at the end, I was like, I was just like, what is going on? And maybe, who knows, maybe we'll get a 28 months. Maybe it was strategically missed for a reason, because 28 months is what, 2 years and like 4 months?
Yeah.
So
I'm not good with math, so you're asking the wrong person.
Because 24 months is 2 years, 28 is 4 more months.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I had very high expectations for the movie, and I feel like maybe that's where I messed up. I should have not had any expectation, and maybe I probably would have not felt as let down. But the first half, it was going great. I was in it. And then just the second, I was still trying to stay with it, and I was just like, what? Again, I don't want to spoil anything. I'll talk about it more later on, but the lows were definitely like the second half. Even the birds agree. Second half. I'm trying to think what else. I really like how the kills were being done, as far as like it felt very like video game-ish to me, but in a good way. Like, like kind of a little slowed down and stuff. Like, I thought that was very cool. I don't know. I don't want to say too much because everything else will spoil it. So I'm gonna just end it there.
So the trailer, it with the poem, even that poem that was being said they were using in the beginning of the movie, the poem. I did a little research, found out that poem was actually used in war back in the 1900s by this guy named Rudyard Kipling, and it was like used as like psychologically on soldiers like who were captured and stuff like that. So that's one thing. That's one creepy part right there. Before I watched the movie, I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be intriguing." And they even played it. You know, you heard it like it one of the big first half of the movie when they were leaving the compound. And like you said, the first half of the film, loved it. No, kind of you give you like coming of age type of thing. With then the bullshit started happening when later on when which Ron's probably gonna hit me for that, fucking kids again because always making dumb decision.
Yeah, them kids will definitely be.
So,
Mhm.
but again, it goes with the director. I don't know if you ever watch any of his other film, Danny Boyle. He does this a lot. A lot of his film, he try to like do this artsy type of direction, try to get the message out there somehow. I'll tell you the truth, I wasn't looking what the message was for this one. I just wanted to watch a horror film. I know he said the first one, 28 Days Later, was had to do with like toxic masculinity. That was one of the message he was trying to convey out there. The second one, 28 Weeks, I don't think he took part of that. I don't remember. I will have to look into that. But as far as this one, first half, I enjoyed it, but the second half, it just went a whole direction. Like some of the scene, like decision, like with the mom, and like they introduced these guys, like the soldiers they introduced, like there wasn't really no background, even with the new the new zombies kind of way with that one scene in the train. How did that happen? Because the rage virus there was attacking. You have to be in the mood to was you know what I'm saying? Like was it she like that before, or was she like did she happen to be like that and then turn into a zombie? That's my whole thing. So even in the way it ended, I was like, what end up that parkour going on, Power Rangers? I was like, in the whole, I was disappointed. It wasn't what I expected. Even the one of the actor they kind of like put out there, and I don't even want to say it. Like you don't even get him to the rest of the movie. You don't. It's like damn. So it's kind of like they did a sleight of hand with that actor. They showed him a lot in the trailer, but
I feel like with that's why I feel like this movie, you know how we say they just skipped 28 months, went to 28 years. So I feel like the way it seemed the second half was going, that it was kind of trending for a second movie. Now, will this movie do good enough for it to even get to the second part? If they wanted it to do a second part, I don't know. They could have done it a different way. They could have not, like, yeah. I don't want to spoil.
I know
too
the
much.
way it ended. It looked like they're gonna do another one.
Yeah,
And I don't think the budget for this one was that big of that it because the first one that came out was only on the budget for like $8 million.
that's not too bad.
So this one, I don't think they spent a lot. I think the budget was like 60 million. So I'm pretty sure they'll probably make it up in the box office because right now I think
Yeah,
they're projected to make over 30 million over the weekend. So you'll see. But I don't know. It was just disappointing because I understand what it did. No, you know what? I don't understand. I tell you, I don't. I'm trying to be sympathetic to this film, but I don't understand.
it just felt like we watched two different movies. Like the
It
first
was.
half was like its own. Like even if it was like you know how certain movies, like what movie, when we saw Life of Chuck, you know how they had their parts, their acts.
Yeah.
Like I feel like even if this had like a moment where it's like, all right, this is this part, or like even if they did certain characters, like even they did it in 40 Acres, like the boy, the girl, you know, they did certain where they separated it, you see a divide. But this is just like, it was just an ongoing thing, like in a span of what, like maybe like a couple days, like.
No, and they had it there, like the new zombies. You know, they had all the products there. Even the way they like the world they built, like the world they show you, like it was decapitated. The building was falling down. It looked like if you stepped on a nail, you would die. You know, that's how bad things were. You know, they show you like what happened with all the humans gone. All these animals are coming back. They had a story there, but it's just they decided to focus on these small little things there. It's like it just veered off to a whole different direction.
Yeah, they added too many things, like.
And that whole
The
train
thing-
scene took me. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that was a lot. I'm like, was this necessary? I'm like, this. I feel like that scene alone, it threw me off so bad to the point that I was just caught up in what I was watching, and then I'm like, all right, why is this in the movie? Like, I
that
get it.
scene could have been a story on its own too. Like you could have had that scene, then you have the soldiers coming into the island just to, you know, after this particular zombie, just for that reason, and then the family's trying to protect. That's the whole movie right there. Boom, right there. I just wrote a 28 years
I
later.
feel like
right
the
there.
soldier part was kind of backwards. Like, if it was introduced like them helping,
They had no purpose.
and then you know they had like, I don't know, it was
They just threw them in there. Then the
it was
Power
like a little
Rangers.
catalyst. I like the doctor though. Like I feel like he was crazy in his own way, but it's like I wish there was different. I wished if I could have changed so many different things in the second half and just make it into like the version that I would have hoped it could have been with that information. I feel like it would have been totally different. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe this is just like maybe their passion about the way it went. It just was too much going on towards the second half. Like, if it was to set up something else, it was just too much. It could have just, even if they just removed one element and just focused on the others and how it all blended together, probably would have been a little bit better. But it was just too much going on, too much.
And in the ending, it ended with a twist. You saw the ending with the cross, right? You realize who that was, right?
Was that you or was that me?
Yeah, that was
yeah.
In the
Okay,
ending,
yeah.
you realize who that was, right? That with the twist. I was like, okay. But guys, that was our thought on the movie. We're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it and give you the accolades for this film. So 5 accolades for excellent, 4 for good, 3 for average, 2 for below average, 1 for poor quality, and my favorite, 0 for horrible. So I'm gonna give you the.
I don't know. I'm really torn because I expected so much for the movie, and I feel like I was starting to get what I was there for. I was starting to get in the first half, and they lost me. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna give it a 3. It should probably be lower, but because I did like the first half, it's still horror. And then I really liked how like they killed the zombies and stuff like that. It was still horror.
No, that was good. Like the killing.
Yeah.
I love the gore. Oh, that Eddie loved it.
The cinematography, like it's not like, your big blockbuster movie where it's like everything is so perfect, and it's just like you see it felt chaotic in the moment, and I felt like that's what it was supposed to do. So I like that. It ideally probably should be a little lower, but because I like those things, I'm giving it a 3.
I'm gonna agree with you with that one. 3, below average, because it could have been.
Well, 3 is average.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, 3.
If it's below average, you gotta give it a 2.
My bad. Average. It could have been better, visually. I like they still use that. If you watch the old one, you watch 28 Days Later.
I've watched them recently. I haven't, and it's been a while since they've been out. I plan on rewatching them though. This movie definitely, like when I wasn't sitting in my car after the theater, I'm like, I have to watch the other two again because why am I feeling so confused? I'm like, is there something I miss? Like, I don't know.
So it's they kind of like mix that grainy kind of old style camera with this one, which I like. But one thing and they still do all that cut scene. You see, it kept happening, all the cuts like zombie shaker, and it kept cutting back and forth. Which I'm not really that okay with that, but it was fine. But the gore, the action, I was fine with it. But it was just that second half, and then it just went downhill from there. And oh man, I don't even want to spoil. I wish I could be part of it. Guys, there's gonna be a spoiler talk for this. I ain't gonna be part of it. I wish I could be part of it because there's a lot I want to go into this film. Like that one scene.
You might be part of it. You never know.
No, that one scene with the kid when he fell asleep when the
that scene pissed me off.
No, was there an explanation why she did that? There's a, you know what? We already gave the grade. That's how I'm getting pissed off. So just thinking about
Not again.
Yeah, but you got anything else for this, honey?
No, anything else would just be spoiling it at this point.
If I bring anything out, I'm just gonna get pissed off some more.
Exactly.
But other than that, guys, let us know what you think. Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And thank you again for joining us at the Critics Collective. And we will see you soon. Bye.